Hi, we're out on the range today, so please bear with gunfire you hear in the background. Fair warning, all I'm going to do is talk. A while ago I did a presentation on frequently asked questions, and since then new questions have come up, so we'll do a volume 2 of that in the near future. But in the meantime, there is one multifaceted question that I've been asked so many times recently that I'm doing a presentation just to answer that. And the question is, what is this coat that I wear, why do I wear it, and where can you get one? Well, let me take a few minutes and see if I can answer that. I got this coat off eBay about a year and a half ago, and as near as I can tell, it's about 40 or 50 years old, and it has a Sears label. It makes a great range jacket. Oh, and bear with me if I use the word jacket and coat interchangeably. It makes a great range jacket, but it's really made for hunting, primarily bird hunting. And different versions of this coat were very popular among hunters for decades. It's made of this thin canvas, sometimes called duck cloth. And it's not really insulated, and it certainly isn't waterproof, but it's a practical hunting garment because of the features that it has, like this padded shooting shoulder, which is not very thick, but it doesn't have to be to help a great deal. It's got these big pockets in front that you can just put your hands in or put a lot of gear in, and these lower pockets have shot shell loops. Now, a really interesting feature this coat has is the built-in game bag, which is accessible through bilateral openings on the back of the coat. You can see right here. And these can be closed with a snap, so that when you're in the field and you shoot a pheasant or a grouse or a quail, you just stuff him in the bag and keep on going. I know that seems morbid by today's standards, but that's how people used to do it, and the garment is machine washable. Now let me show you a couple of different versions of this. This one you'll see immediately is a different color. Well, this one's been hanging in the closet, and I've been wearing this one a lot, so it's faded. When it was new, these were about the same color. This one also has a J.C. Higgins label. However, if you read the fine print, it reads J.C. Higgins, Sears, Roebuck and Company, USA. They're virtually identical garments. This one also has a Sears label, but it's a lot less expensive no-frills version of the same thing. It doesn't have a padded shooting shoulder. The game bag access doesn't have a snap on it. It's just a thinner, lighter, less expensive version. And if it seems like it has a bunch of stuff in the pockets, it does. This is my black powder shooting coat, so I keep all my accessories in the pockets. Now, all these garments are 40 to 50 years old, but there are some versions of coats like this of contemporary manufacture. I got this one brand new just a couple of months ago. More about this one in a minute. Now, as far as why I wear this coat, there's several reasons. First and foremost being that it's eminently practical for what we're doing here. The second reason is something I call Gilligan's Island philosophy. On Gilligan's Island, characters like the skipper and the professor, it seems they always dressed exactly the same in every show. There's a reason for that. There's also a reason why you call those characters by their titles, not by their names. And those characters did have names. And the concept, so I've read, is that the network executives wanted to make sure that people who were tuning in for the first time, or who maybe only seen 1 or 2 episodes, can come up to speed with who those people are and what niche they fill in the group. So with that in mind, I figure if I dress basically the same way in every video presentation that I do, then people who've mainly only seen 1 or 2 can identify who I am, even if they don't really remember my name. But admittedly, this really is how I dress pretty much every day, and those few of you who've met me in person can attest to that. Now, there's also a reason why I choose to wear an old jacket instead of one of contemporary manufacture. One of those things is that the new versions of this can have an exorbitant price tag. I've seen them for $350 and more. This one that I have here, I got on a 50% off sale and still paid nearly $100 for it. There's also the thing that the new jackets are quite often made more for fashion than they are for function. You see the bilateral padded shooting shoulders? Notice they're a different color than the rest of the garment. That's so that you can make sure everyone sees that it's a padded shooting shoulder, and you can show off the fact that you're wearing a range coat. Also, it doesn't have the big pockets on the front, and it doesn't have a game bag on the back. It's made more for fashion than for function. Now, there's another reason that I wear a vintage coat like this, and that is because jackets with labels like Sears or J.C. Higgins aren't on the market anymore. Sears is no longer marketing this type of coat, and so if I wear one that's no longer being sold, then no one can accuse me of being a shill for the corporation. Now, as far as the question, where can you get one? Well, over the years I've found them at yard sales on a few occasions, but your best bet is probably going to eBay. And I've seen them on eBay for sale from anywhere from $10 to $100 or more, depending on what condition they're in and what kind of collector value the seller thinks they have. But if you go to eBay, there's one thing I would ask of you, and that is save one or two of them for me. I am going to have to replace this coat eventually. So I hope that answered everybody's questions, and thanks for watching.